have a ball, any kind of small ball, that will be helpful. So we'll start with there. Oh, here's Marley. He doesn't come out very often. Hello, Marley. We're going to start with a mudra. I'm going to invite you to either place a hand on your belly and a hand on your heart if you just want to settle in like that for our breathing, or this mudra that I love to practice where you take an original traditional yoga mudra. This is Jnana mudra, so the thumb and the index finger come together. And rather than just having them on your lap, what I love to do, it feels really good to me for some reason, I put one over my heart, and then I take the other one and I nestle those fingers into the circle of my other hand. So it looks like this. It's like this. So Jnana mudra, and like that. If that doesn't feel comfortable, then just hands on the belly, hands on the heart. And we'll start with ratio breathing. So 4, breathing into about a count of 4, exhaling, trying to double the length of the exhale. So maybe a count of 8. But if that feels too strenuous on your lungs, you can just modify this. So you could breathe in for a count of 3 and exhale to a count of 6, something like that. But thinking about focusing on lengthening the exhale, which will help to bring your nervous system back to, just regulate it back to a sense of peace and calm. Great for your blood pressure, great for centering, cultivating peace. So let's start with whatever hand position that you would like to. Sitting in a way that's comfortable for you for the next few moments. And we're going to take a big breath in first, in through the nose and let it out through the mouth. Again. And then as you're ready, begin to breathe in softly through the nose. And then exhale through the nose. Breathe in and begin your count, whatever count that would be for you, until your lungs are full. And then as you exhale, try to lengthen the exhale, squeezing out all of the air from your lungs until they're empty. A great tip for lengthening your exhale, if you're not used to doing that, is to purse your lips and blow through tightly pursed lips so that it's as if you're blowing out through a straw. And that can help to control the out breath. If your mind begins to wander, come back to the counting. Come back to the sensation of your hands on your body or in the mudra. Back to a natural rhythm of breath for you. Allow your hands to remain as they are, or you can rest them in your lap with your eyes closed if they are closed. I'm going to start our class with a poem by John Mundell. I will leave yoga class rested and still, in touch with my breath, my heart open, thankful I'm alive. Breathing in, I am a mountain, a rock, a tree, firmly grounded in my inner essence. Breathing out, I am a flower, gentle, sweet, and tender. I wish no harm on any living thing. My gift to the world is a peaceful heart, and I give it now, in this moment, all that ever is and all that ever will be. My gift to the world is a peaceful heart. So often we want to have a peaceful heart, and we try to create that from the level of the mind, trying to will our heart to feel peaceful or less resentful or less afraid or less stressed. And when we try to control our heart and our sense of peace with the level of the mind, it's kind of an uphill battle. So what really helps is to access peace through the breath, through breath control, and through the body. So rather than trying to mentally activate peace, we physically activate the peace. The mind is a useful tool. We use it for all sorts of things. But just like you wouldn't paint a house with a hammer, you have to also try to remember that the mind loves a job. So if we can give the mind a job, something it's good at, then we can go about the business of cultivating peace through breath and movement. So giving the mind a job is something like having it count the breaths, or having it focus on an affirmation or visualization. So today we're cultivating peace, and we'll do some heart openers, and we're going to work with the body. I'm going to invite you to maybe try yoga, doing your yoga moves in a different way. So rather than moving from one action or one pose to the next with like that goal-oriented focus, think of it as if you're kind of swimming through water. So moving like a Tai Chi style or Qigong, where you're just moving softly from one position to the next, and see if that action, that energy of movement from one thing to the next actually starts to help cultivate that sense of spaciousness and softness and peace, if that makes sense. This is such a treat. My cat never comes downstairs, and he's just laying around in front of me, rolling around, asking for belly rubs right now. All right, so from your seated position, I'm going to have you reach up, take a nice big breath in, and exhale, bring your hands to your heart. So another way we can focus on the breath and releasing stress is, as we inhale, fill up those lungs. And as you exhale, try making a sound like shh, until you run out of the shush sound. Another way is inhaling and then making a hissing sound through the teeth. A few more times. Let your hands rest at your heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist to your right. Let those hands come down. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist to the other side. Couple more times. Last time, inhaling up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Good. Bring your right hand to the floor and bring your left arm up. Inhale and exhale softly, bend to the side. Think of yourself as a reed swaying in the wind. We're going to change sides. Keep the breath flowing as you just softly move from side to side. So keep your fingers really soft. Usually I'm having you reach with your fingers, but I want you to keep your fingers soft, like your arms are floating through water. Like you're just letting the water caress your limbs. You're moving weightlessly, side to side, and breathing nice and full. Good. Let your arms come up and then softly let them float down to your lap. And notice how the quality of that movement is different, feels different maybe in your body. Okay, we're going to come onto our backs and we will do a little bit of bridge. We're going to do dynamic bridge pose. So you may have your block near you if you need it for some reason, but we're going to bring our feet to the floor, knees are bent, and hands are going to come to the frontal hip bones, and we're just going to start doing some of those pelvic tilts that we've done in class before. So just rocking your hips forward and back toward you, away from your head and toward your head. So often we can feel, if we pay attention to the hips in this exercise, it might feel a little sticky, like it gets a little stuck as we're moving. And that's okay. You're just noticing the quality of movement in your hips right now. Inhaling as you arch slightly, exhaling as you tuck, but you're keeping your buns on the floor for now. Good, and then pause. We're going to press into the feet and lift the hips up. As you lift your hips, notice if your knees flew open. So you want to try to keep those inner thighs engaged and moving a little bit toward each other. And then slowly lower the hips. Inhale, lift the hips. Your arms are by your side. And lower. And these don't have to be very big. Think of peeling your tailbone off the floor and lifting the back. And then lowering. Good. So we're warming up the legs here. And you're welcome now to inhale the arms up as well. Inhaling the arms up. And then exhaling, lowering everything down. So keep it nice and gentle. Inhaling, matching the breath to the movement. So my arms are really soft. I've got soft elbows, soft wrists. Like Tai Chi wrists, Tai Chi arms. A couple more times. Last one. Good. Rest those arms by your side. Bring your arms out to the sides now and let your legs fall over to the right. And we won't stay here. We're going to just do a dynamic twist from side to side. So the top leg is going to open, followed by the bottom leg coming into our twist. I'm going to bring my knees closer to my body. Back and forth. As soon as the legs tap down, then you start to bring them back up, but connect the breath to the movement as well. So let's inhale as the legs come up. Exhale as they come over. Nice soft quality of movement. Inhaling up, exhaling over. Last set. Let's do one more on each side. And then come back to center and hold onto your knees, squeeze them in, give them a little hug. And now let's do some ankle rotations. Pointing and flexing. And then I want to rock forward and backward like a little rocking horse to come to seated. Feel free though to roll to your side if you'd like to and help yourself come to a seated position. And we'll transition to our hands and our knees. I'll go sideways here. So let's move through our cat and cow. Inhaling as the sits bones reach back behind and we gaze up. And exhaling, rounding the spine. So I'll say it in every class. If you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, you want to avoid rounding of the back. But you can feel free to do the extension, the cow part, and come back to a neutral spine in between. So just feeling your spine as it moves through space here. Letting the weight of your head go. And then start to bring in some movements that feel good. It might be some tail wagging or side bending. Maybe shifting forward and back. I like to do that because I can get a little bit into my hips. And where's your breath? Now, can you soften this? Can you soften this movement that we do every yoga class? Can you approach it a different way this morning? Can you approach this with a sense of softness and peace? With a sense of curiosity rather than from a place of doing, but getting curious about what you feel. Go ahead and pause here and just sit back in child's pose. Release your wrists. If they're a little tired, you can make some fists and circle the fists. And as your forehead is resting on the floor or on a block, just take a moment to dedicate your practice today. What are you practicing for? Why are you here in this moment practicing yoga? If you need to open your knees a little wider, you can. We're going to stay in this child's pose, but stretch the triceps out. So my arms are out in front of me, and then I'm going to bring my hands to prayer position in front of me. And then I'm going to bend my elbows and try to bring those prayer hands up toward the sky. And then walk my elbows forward a little bit more. Release your prayer hands if you did that, and come on up back to your tabletop posture, and we will thread the needle here. So scoop your right arm under your left, right side of the head to the floor, stretch that left arm out. Then slowly come back to center and move to the second side. And press yourself back up. And let's go ahead and come to standing at the top of your mat. And you'll want to have your massage ball, your little ball handy. So we're going to work on the neck using the ball. You can also use your fingertips if you need to. It's totally just as valuable. It gives you actually a little more sensitivity to what's happening in your muscles. But if you're using a ball, we'll start with the ball in the right hand, and we're just gonna work on the base of the neck on the right side, just the right side. So we wanna press the ball or fingertips up into that little soft spot under the skull. And we're gonna roll the ball in little movements from the right side of the spine out to the edge, right up to the edge of this bone behind the ear. Just little movements to release the muscles that attach into the skull, these trapezius muscles. And then you're gonna know probably where you wanna go from here, so you can move the ball down toward the tops of your shoulders. Remembering to keep your knees soft and your breath flowing. So I'm going to take the ball now and bring it to my clavicle. So right at the collarbone, I'm going to place the ball or my fingertips right under the collarbone. And I'm going to move the ball side to side. So we've got frontal neck muscles that come down. You can even see them a little bit on me. And they attach right in that area. So we're going to release the place where the muscles attach with fingers or with the ball. And I'm going all the way actually out to where my arm starts. It's not quite where the neck muscles are, but it feels really good. So you're getting into the pectoral muscles. This will help to restore proper posture, which will also take pressure off of the neck. Also will help move energy around the heart when we work on the pectoral muscles. So we might move into some movements with that right arm, letting it come up or out or around in circles. Finding your breath. Good. I can see you're all working very intuitively, getting a sense of what your body needs. Good. So pause there, pause with what you just did, and tilt your left ear to your left shoulder. Just give your right side of your neck a little gentle stretch. And then for fun, just lift your head up to center and then tilt your right ear to your right shoulder. And just notice the difference. What do you notice from one side to the other? So now we'll take the ball in the left hand and we're going to work the left side of the back of the head, the neck. So I'll turn around here and show you exactly where I'm going. Right in this soft spot, side to side, but I'm not going over my spine. So make sure to avoid the spine itself. Finding your way down the side of your neck or toward the top of their shoulder, whatever feels good. These miniature tennis balls work really well, you guys. I've never used one. It's Nerf Dog brand. So it came with a little Nerf ball shooter. Pretty effective. Okay, come to the front of the chest area, right under the clavicle, under the collarbone, and just move side to side under the whole length of the collarbone. You can change hands if it's easier for you to maneuver the ball. And if you're using your hands, it might be easier also to use your right hand instead. Maybe bringing that left arm out to the side and starting to open up the chest and heart space. Of course, I usually do this all standing up, just a little closer so you can see a little bit better. Breathing if you find any sore spots. Giving some extra attention. Good. Take another few seconds wherever you need it. And then go ahead and rest your arms and tilt your right ear to your right shoulder again. Hopefully it might be feeling a little more open than the first time. And then back to center and to the other side. And back to center. And now turn your head to look over your right shoulder without moving your shoulders. So just getting a sense of your range of motion. Breathing in. Exhaling to center. Breathing in as you look over the left shoulder. Exhaling to center. Good. Drop your chin to your chest and do some very soft half circles, moving from side to side with that same energy of softness and tenderness and curiosity. Good. From your standing position, go ahead and bring your ball under your foot. If you aren't using a ball today, you can just have a seat and do a little bit of foot massage with your hands, your thumbs. We'll just run through the bottom of the feet for a few seconds on either side. Starting at the base of each toe and working your way down towards your heel and then back up again. I'm giving a little extra attention to my arch, to the inside of my foot. So I'm working on the reflex points of my whole spine from top to bottom. This also can give some relief to our inner arches as they start to collapse just a little bit from just weight and pressure and years of using our feet. Those inner arches can start to collapse a bit, so it's nice to massage that space. Okay, switch sides. Remembering to breathe fully. Getting into that inner arch. Okay, a couple more seconds. Good. And let that ball go off to the side. Let's open up our stance wider than hip width and just do our standing twists. Tapping the chest and lower back with soft fists. Good. And come back to center. We'll stand at the top of the mat. Make sure you have your block or a pillow, something you can use if you need it to reach the floor a little easier. And we're going to inhale, reach up, and exhale, fold forward with a flat back as much as possible. Come into your forward fold with your hands supported by the floor or block or pillow, and let the weight of your head go. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Take a big breath in and feel an opening, stretching, hopefully around the upper back, behind the heart. Turn your head from side to side. Release the weight of your head. Good, so now we're gonna press into our hands. We're gonna come halfway up. Bring your hands to your thighs, good. Take a breath here, and then exhale, fold all the way down again. Press into both of those feet, look up, stand up, reach your arms out to the side. Beautiful, hands to your heart. Again, inhale, reach. Exhale, surrender. Inhale, come halfway up. Good, exhale, fold. Inhale, reach and rise. And hands to the heart. Good. Get those legs zipped up. Squeeze them together. Firm up the muscles of your thighs. Squeeze those thigh muscles. Go ahead and bring your arms up. Clasp your hands and release your index finger, both of them. Squeeze, 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 and pull the belly in and lean over to one side. But then come up right away. Breathe, lean over to the other side and come up. So making this like a reed blowing in the wind. What's going to make this easier and safer is to keep your core fully engaged, nice and pulled in. Just swaying whatever's comfortable for you. You don't have to go too far. Good, and up to the top. And release your arms. Release them so that they're in a cactus position. You can open up your legs a little bit and stretch the front body by pulling the shoulder blades together and reaching those elbows back behind you. Hands are wide. And release softly. Good, let's do some shoulder circles. Okay, we are going to work with Warrior One today. And we're going to work with it dynamically as a heart opener. So you'll bring your right foot forward to start. Your left foot is back. And you want to think of turning the back leg bone inward so that your foot is at about 45 degrees. Bend your front knee and check your knee so that you see that it's lined up over your ankle or maybe slightly behind the ankle, but not caved in, not knocking inward. So you really want to press it towards your little toes. Reach your arms up. So we've got our arms reaching, but let it be soft. So shrug your shoulders up and then drop the shoulders down. Just let them fall down. Soft fingers today, really soft fingers. Breathe here. Feel your back foot connected to the floor. So the whole foot is connected to the floor if possible. If this creates any discomfort in the lower back, you can just walk your front foot out to the side a bit and create more space in the lower back that way. So we're bending the knees. Now we're going to open up, reaching for that back leg with our elbows. Bend down a little deeper, and then inhale, straighten the front leg and reach up. And then exhale, float down, heart opener, inhale, and exhale, inhale, and exhale. Good. And now bring your hands to your heart and step your back foot forward. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, let it go. Come all the way down to your forward fold. Walking in place, so just bending one knee and then the other. And then look up and rise up. Reach for the heavens. Bring your hands to your heart. Other side, so stepping the right foot back. Nice deep bend in that front knee if possible. So you want to set up your stability, right? You want to have your feet firmly connected, alignment safe, the joints safely aligned, core pulled in. So we create stability before mobility. So reaching the arms up, soft fingers, shoulders softly nestled in their girdles. Good. Breathe here. And now bring your arms out to the side, heart opener here. Inhale, straighten the leg, reach up. Exhale, sink down, open the heart. Inhale, reach. Exhale, inhale. Keep your belly engaged. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Pause here. Float your hands to center. And then glide forward. Glide the back foot forward. Good. Inhale, reach. Exhale, dive forward. This time, open your legs a little bit wider. If you're comfortable bringing your hands to opposite elbows and hanging, you can do that. Release your head, maybe rocking from side to side. Good, we're gonna press into our hands, into our block or the floor. We're gonna come up with a flat back. And hands to the heart. So let's bring in our breath of joy today. So we'll do our inhale, 3 inhales and an exhale. If you get dizzy, just start to slow down the breath. You don't have to keep up with the class. You just listen to your body. So the knees are soft. We're gonna sniff in 3 times and then exhale it all out. So it looks like this. 2 more. Good. Ooh. Noticing what you feel in your body, in your energy. So with my legs are already wide, so go ahead and keep your legs wide or make them wide if they aren't already. I'm in a nice soft knee bend here, just a little bit of a squat. And we're gonna take our palms to face upward, super soft elbows. So think as if you were underwater again. So your arms, just practice floating your arms a little bit out and then in. Feel breath. As your breath begins to soften, feel the movement soften its edges as well. Feel those fingertips super soft, the palms warm. Good. In and out. Good. Now we're going to inhale and reach the arms in front of us, like as if we have a tray that we're serving. And then exhale, open up those arms really wide. And then bring the elbows back. So from the side, it looks like this. Inhaling, reaching out. Exhaling, bringing the arms back in. So how can you soften this movement so that it doesn't feel like so much like effort, but instead it feels as if your limbs are floating on your breath or being moved by your breath? Can you make the movement smaller so that you're not overreaching or over-efforting? Can you soften your fingers, the joints in your fingers, just a little bit more? Notice what happens in your mind and in your body when you start to soften consciously. We're going to inhale as we reach out, exhale as we come around. This time, let your hands rest over your heart. So just two hands next to each other over your heart. Relax your legs. If you need to straighten them, you can. We want to have this be an effortless squat, if there is any such thing. So just check in with your heart right now. Feel this place inside of you, the seat of emotion, the place of unconditional, spiritual, unconditional love. Knowing that we are always in a place of give and take. So some days we have a lot of love to give, a lot of peace to give to the world as our gift. And some days we are in need of it more than usual. So knowing that there's always a balance that's trying to happen between giving and taking. And notice where you're at right now. So with whatever information you've gotten from your heart, we're going to do the same movement. Hands are going to come to rest in front of you upright. You're going to breathe in. And this time you're going to exhale. And then inhale, bring the hands back towards your heart. And you're going to keep this circular movement happening. And you're either going to give your abundance, your heart energy, your love and peace out. You're going to either give that to the world, or as you bring your arms close to your heart, you're going to bring in some peace, some much needed peace. You might notice that it's changing and shifting even as you do this exercise. Let's do one more. Hands at the heart. Step your feet together. Good. We're going to come down to our seats. And if you have your strap handy, you'll want to have that as an option. And now you can either sit flat on the floor. We're doing a forward fold, and I know that a lot of us are very tight. So in order to take pressure off the lower back, some of you might want to sit on the edge of your block, like so. Some of you might want to keep your knees slightly bent, totally fine. Or you can even roll up the back of your mat to create a little pillow, like a little lift, because you might not want a whole block, you just might want a little tiny lift to basically shift the pelvis forward to take the pressure off of the ligaments in the lower back. So I've got my legs straight in front of me. And if you want to use your strap for support, you can just lasso your feet and use the straps and your arms to help pull you forward. You're going to think of hinging at your hip crease to start. So heart stays open as you hinge forward. So we've got like a leg stretch here, right? We're in the hamstrings or wherever you might feel it. If you feel anything in your lower back, just back off a little bit and keep flexing your feet and straighten your legs as much as you can. So the purpose of this pose, we're in the legs now, possibly, but the purpose is to stretch the whole back body. So we can release the straps if you want to, and just let yourself fold forward. So just let yourself round through the spine. Maybe your hands are on your shins or thighs, or maybe you're reaching past your feet, who knows? But you're just gonna let your head relax, feel an opening through the whole back body. So forward folds are really helpful for bringing peace back into the nervous system. Use your hands to help press you back up. So you want to use the upper body support there. And then bring your hands behind you. And I'm on my fingertips because my arms aren't super long. Some of you might be on the palms. But try to turn your fingers toward your front of your body, toward your feet. And then press into the floor and open up your chest and gaze up. Opening up the heart here. And come back to neutral position. Let's bring the right foot close into the body and keep the left foot flexed. So you can always cross your foot over your other leg if you want, or you can just keep it close to your bottom, and we're just going to squeeze that knee with the left arm or elbow and twist to the right. So look over your right shoulder, prop yourself up with your back arm. So these twists are very supportive of the digestive system. When we are in fight or flight, when we are stressed out, our rest and digest system, the parasympathetic nervous system, just shuts down. So that can really affect our digestion. So twisting, breathing, bringing peace to the body will help the digestion come back. It'll help to reactivate the parasympathetic nervous system. Go ahead and unwind your twist and switch over to the other side. Keep your shoulders down away from your ears. And unwind your twists, come back to center. Let's come to our backs. So bring anything that you usually use for Shavasana. For anyone just watching this video for the very first time, often we would use an eye pillow or have a pillow for the neck and head, maybe pillows for under the knees. Whatever is going to help you to rest as deeply as possible. Just get that set up. But before you go straight into Shavasana, check in with your body and see if it needs anything else. You might want to do a hip opener, pigeon pose. You might want to do legs up. So legs up is recommended for restoring the nervous system, relaxation to the nervous system. If you have legs up, then you would use a block under your hips to help you to keep your legs up without effort. So listening to the body, take a couple of minutes to do any stretches or yoga asana that you need to before you settle into Shavasana. I'll ring our bell when it's time to start getting settled officially. Let the sound of the bell call you to stillness. Release the muscles in your body, release the bones. Let everything get heavy and soft and as relaxed as possible. Imagine your body as a lake, and there's a full moon shining down on the lake, but there's a little bit of ripple on the surface of the lake because there's some wind, just a breeze of wind. And so the reflection of the moon is also unclear. It's a little bit wobbly, wiggly, distorted. And as your breath becomes calmer, softer, as your body comes to stillness deeply from the inside, you'll notice that the lake becomes more calm. The ripples start to be further and further apart. And the reflection of the moon begins to become more clear. You start to see the edges. You start to see the surface of the moon, the dark spots in the reflection as your body and mind and heart settle into peace. Deep peace in the lotus of my heart. Deep peace in the space of my mind. Deep peace in the earth of my bones. Deep peace in the rivers of my blood. Deep peace in the wind of my breath. Deep peace in the belly of my being. Deep peace in every part of me. As I rest within one divinity. One divinity. Deep peace. Deep peace in the lotus of my heart. Deep peace in the space of my mind. Deep peace in the earth of my bones. Deep peace in the rivers of my blood. Deep peace in the wind of my breath. Deep peace in the belly of my being. Deep peace in every part of me. As I rest within one divinity. One divinity. Deep peace. Begin to feel the air moving in and out of your nose, down into your lungs. Allow your fingers and toes to start to move a little bit. Awaken your body and your senses. Taking all the time you need to rise up into a seated position. With your hands at your heart. So in closing today, I'm going to invite you to join me in an embodied prayer. So just following along with the movements of the hands. And you can just repeat after me if it feels right for you to do so. Deep peace in the lotus of my heart. Deep peace in the space of my mind. Deep peace in the earth of my bones. Deep peace in the rivers of my blood. Deep peace in the wind of my breath. Deep peace in the belly of my being. Deep peace in every part of me. As I rest within one divinity. One divinity, deep peace. May all beings feel deep peace, safety, and love. May it be so. Kenya Hiratso. Shalom.